How do you feel about gay marriage or marriage? How do you feel about marriage?
Well, I'm not an expert on marriage, but I remember from like high school Latin class, marriage always for me was something, like they had it. It's about property, and it's some legal institution that's governed by all. That's for me a marriage, and then there's also the religious aspect of marriage.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that the straight marriage hasn't worked really that well. So I think straight marriage doesn't make any sense. So logically, gay marriage doesn't make any sense either. Of course, everybody should have the right to do whatever they want to. But I think this gay marriage has also a lot to do with like how society is like kind of working right now, and everybody wants to be the same, and everybody wants to be accepted, and I think a lot of gay people, they just want to have somebody that sort of recognizes their relationship, and sort of they feel better about it, or they think that then people will accept them more or something, and I think that's really not silly, sort of because people either like you and whatever, and if they're only gonna like you because the state or the church says that they're supposed to like you because you're married, it's not gonna happen.
Now, when we talked the other day, you said that you were against gay marriage as a non-conformity kind of issue, that you didn't want to conform to.
Well, I think there's a tendency with people in general, and especially this sort of late last century, like because of that commercialism-driven world, and this whole thing. Everybody wants to just do the same thing and kind of blend in and swim and never stick your head out. It's just much easier to go the safe route. And I think that's what always made gay people maybe more creative, or just think outside the box, because if you can't live in the box because people think you're different, then you always have to sort of live outside the box. And now I think if everybody's gonna live in the same box, and I just don't understand why people want to go in the box when there's a whole other world outside of that box.
Okay, so how long have you been with your partner?
12 years. Oh, we met at a bookstore.
So when did you start, how did you know you were falling in love, or when did you start falling in love?
Oh, I don't know.
Like, was it love at first sight, or after dating a while?
Yeah, more like dating a while.
Mm-hmm.
Well, because I don't think love at first sight really exists. I think there exists attraction at first sight.
Mm-hmm.
But how can you love someone if you have hardly met them?
So you met in a bookstore where?
In Boston.
In Boston, okay. And so then, were y'all both living in San Antonio? How did y'all get here together?
Just wanted to try living together, and I had just finished with my schooling, and it was very exhausting. And I just wanted to kind of take off before finding something to do, and so I decided, well, why not here? I always try to live in different places, so it's actually the longest I've been in a place.
Is here?
It's here no longer, yeah.
Because you're not an American citizen, you have to go out of the country every 30 days or 90 days. What did you say?
90 days.
90 days. So how's that on your relationship?
I think it's kind of healthy, to have different experiences, and you know, you don't have to do everything together, and you know, it's good to evolve together, but at the same time also as an individual.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, that's why I think it's always good if everybody has a little bit of their own space and you know, do their things, and it's important to them besides the relationship. And you know, if you're happy because you do all those other things, and you feel fulfilled as an individual, then I think it's healthy for in your relationship, because you're like chill, as they say nowadays.
Okay. So, are you monogamous?
Yes.
You both are. I mean,
Yes.
you can see
Well,
yourself, so.
you always hope.
So, to me, the fact that you've been in a long-term relationship and you're going to stay in the relationship and you're monogamous, it sounds very marital to me. You just don't have the papers, and I mean, what makes that different than a marriage to you?
Well, I guess just mostly the religious and mostly the financial or logistic, legal issues that's what really makes it different. But I think, you know, that the solution is not to have, you know, gay marriage, but I think they should, you know, like common law marriage, people should be able to form a marriage-like union, even if it's like a single brother and a single sister, you know. Why couldn't they have a household, and because they plan on like staying and living together forever, you know, and why shouldn't they have the same kind of rights?
Right.
You know, I don't think it or like two guys could form a marriage, although they're not gay, but they're like want to be single, but don't want to live alone, you know, or some
That's interesting.
widow could form two widows could form a marriage, because, you know, just they decided they're gonna spend the rest of their lives together. So I think that's the only thing about them. Yeah. For gay people, I think it's really just a conformity thing, and you know, sexy kind of chicken. I want to say to other people that are not married and that get all this crap, especially in this country, about wedding magazines, and you blasted this, you blasted that, and they tell those little girls here the greatest day of their life is going to be the day they get married. And after that, it's all, everything else is going to be shit, because that's going to be the greatest, so well...
Yeah. So that's what you would say to people, don't buy into it. You're saying here that that's true, that's not true in Europe?
Well,
they're not
everywhere, but not as exaggerated, I think, as...
Because of magazines and media and all that.
You know, I think like in Northern Europe, things are, people are less religious and
really?
Oh yes, you know, more skeptical. Very scary churches over here. That,
evangelism. And
yeah, they preach a lot of hate and you know, sort of nutcases, you know, but
they don't have that there so much.
No, they don't have the Ted Haggards. And you know, there's what's the guy here in San Antonio, that Haiti character, and you know, it's just scary. So, but anyway, so I want to tell to people that are not, and so not to fall for that, and you can be happy without marriage, and it's definitely not a big deal if you're not married, you know. Okay. I think that people have a lot of guilt trips and feel, you know, I have some sort of, oh, what's wrong with me? I didn't get married.
Yeah.
You know, don't be afraid.
Okay. Thanks.
You're welcome.